Hey, what's going on, friends? Family, my name is Skylent, and here at Skylent Games, I do pretty harsh criticisms, rants, and reviews, and a lot of the times you will see a lot of hype videos, but those are actually, that's me being harsh. If I'm just kind of glowing and having fun with the game, then generally that's like, you know, that's reality. That's as blunt and as honest as I can possibly be, but of course that's never the full picture. Likewise, if I'm just doing a rant and it's just negativity, that's still not always the complete and full picture. But that doesn't mean I'm being dishonest. So when you listen to this video and it's a topic like this, and you've already disliked and you've already written your comment, whatever, why I don't play fighting games, well, just know that I actually do. I do play some fighting games every so often. I do love trying them out, and if they go on free weekends, I'll jam to them, such as recently Street Fighter V. I do own For Honor, which are not a fighting game, whatever. I do own Smash and a number of other very niche titles. In fact, I'm like the only person who's actually done a free-to-play fighting game list on YouTube, so don't tell me what I don't like and what I do like and why I do and why I don't and how I'm wrong. I'm gonna just tell you my thoughts and my feelings, and if you want to bitch and moan about it, go somewhere the fuck else. Okay, anyways, so this is why I don't like fighting games. And the reason I'm making this video is because actually I have heard these thoughts, which I'm going to hyper-focus in this video, unlike my last ones where I ranted about certain genres. I've actually heard other people echo these same exact thoughts. Really, actually, it's just one thought. There's a main reason, and it kind of encompasses a few mechanics, but there is a main thing that really stops me from maining fighting games, from really caring too much, and the ones that I do play occasionally, they have really the least or most alleviated form of this issue. So if you guys watch Maximilian Dude, you might know that he recently ranted about this specific topic. And lately I've been running through a bunch of different genres of why I don't play them, because I try to be critical and I try to, you know, let people know why other new players might have issues with those games. So here's the main thing, and this is going to be something that affects new and old players to fighting games especially. And this is not a problem that is unique to fighting games. This is an issue that is objectively a problem in all of gaming, and it's something that needs to be solved for a number of genres. But fighting games, I think, suffer greatly from this because of their very nature, or because of how they've been emulated and built upon sort of from the arcade days. So just a quick history lesson, arcade fighting games generally had rather quick rounds, it was rather easy to die, and there was obviously like some mechanics here and there that were put in place because of the controller inputs, the style of controllers, like basically the arcade sticks, literally everything, even from the fact that you have to input coins, such as, you know, affecting the difficulty, has affected all of the game design from those original fighting games and then have been kind of carried over. Then you have fighting games like Smash that really have smashed, you know, those expectations, which is awesome, but there's still games that have a lot of that influence still built into them. I know it's kind of vague. Hey, look, I'm expecting you guys to be adults because literally the metrics say you're older than me. So, okay, let's just do this. Let's be adults and let's talk about the main thing here. And that is going to be, and this is from arcades all the way till now, and this should not be a thing. This really shouldn't. We're smart people. We're a smart society, or smart online global culture. We should have been able to figure this out, you know, based on very, very successful fighting game genres, or subgenres. But basically, fighting games, I don't play them that much, and I think a lot of new players drop out of them, and I think old players burn out of them because you more often are not playing the game than you are, you know, actually engaged in actually pulling off combos or pressing buttons to literally fight your opponent. Now, I've kind of did some rants before talking about fighting games, and I basically said I'm not a fan of giant combos, giant combo strings, things like that, but this is actually kind of taking that and extending it to a lot of other systems, such as constantly loading between every single menu, or, you know, the matchmaking being rather completely unbalanced and then also taking so long, and then the netcode when you actually get in, the overall quality of those games, and then of course it feels exponentially worse when you finally get into a game, especially as a new player, and you're just getting kind of comboed. You know, maybe you'll get one hit in, but for the most part it really feels like you're kind of watching other people play, and then you're just kind of waiting on loading screens. And even then, really, a lot of these campaigns don't teach you the game properly, so you're really just sitting there in like a tutorial reading and not pressing buttons, not actively engaging the game or the game engaging you. And that's the biggest fault. There's a reason why battle royales are so addicting, or a lot of these action RPGs, these looter shooters, and that's because you're just always playing them. You're just always gaming the game. And fighting games uniquely because of those quick round systems, the combo-based gameplay, and etc., really from the arcade days. Man, it really feels like there's so much tension and weight on just a few brief moments that it's very hard to really game unless you're already at the peak at like top 10% of players, if not the top 1% of players, depending on the game. Now, like I said earlier, there are some games that have this issue to a lesser degree, such as Smash. So that's I think my favorite fighting game. I can champion that game. I want to promote it. You know, I love watching it competitively, and it's just freaking awesome. And I think we can all agree on that. And one of the awesome things is that generally it's pretty quick to get into a match. You always have rematches, and the fights aren't over instantaneously, and you're not going to get constantly comboed off the face of the earth. You always have a fighting chance. Generally, you can maneuver around very, very well. And there's always moments of gameplay, like real gameplay, real input and action to reaction from both players, or 2v2, or whatever. If you want to do the battle royale, you just have a lot of opportunity to play the game just very consistently throughout the day, and it feels really good. Now, of course, the netcode is debatable. Smash has its own issues, and like I said, it still has these problems to an extent, but much less so than other fighting games. I know that Soul Calibur, a game that I really love playing, a lot of the matches can be over pretty quickly. I'm glad that they extended it to 3 rounds. I'm glad that they put in, certain mechanics to make the fights a little bit more strategic, things like that carry between the rounds. So I'm glad of that, but still, the matchmaking, the loading, for real. Look, they're fighting games. It's 1v1. It's weird. It's weird when I can load into an MMO faster than I can load into Tekken. That's all I'm saying. Have you guys seen Tekken? I remember Maximilian Dude actually specifically calling out Tekken for insane load times. And it's insane. And Tekken, you die really fast. Tekken, you just get blasted off the face of the planet. And then you're just loading and matchmaking, and oh my freaking god. As a new player to Tekken, as a newcomer, even coming from Soul Calibur, it's really freaking hard to learn that game. That's a complex game that on the surface doesn't seem so complex, but you know what? I can totally see why some players would pick it up, rent it, or maybe there's a free weekend or something. Maybe they have it through a shared library, like I do actually, and they put it down. They're like, well, that was cute, okay. And they fail to see the deeper, game. And look, it's not the player's fault, which whenever I do these videos, like I talked about arena shooters and rhythm games, everyone is so quick to blame the players. And I am the first person who would I will attack you. I will attack you as a person. If you love gambling, or if you're a whale to pay to win, I will attack you. Not all fun is objectively healthy fun. There's some bad fun in the world. There's some fake fun in the world, okay? Such as, addictive practices, gambling, RNG, things like that. It just games their brain. Doesn't mean it's a fun game. But look, you can't really blame players, I think, for this one. Fighting games tend to have really bad campaigns, bad tutorials, and even between like this new Soul Calibur, oh my god, most of the time spent reading or not really playing the game or trying to figure it out. It's just kind of waiting on the next arena fight, and you just cheese it anyways. Or they're too brief, like Skullgirls, really brief. Amazing tutorial. By the way, Skullgirls is probably worth it just for the general fighting game tutorial. Totally agree with that. But the campaign, I literally just used one move all the way through, and yes, I did beat the hard mode with the monster hair bitch, just using the rollout move. I don't know, you can just do that, apparently. So, maybe I got lucky, but hey. A fighting game should really engage my fighting instincts, fight or flight, really utilize all the game's mechanics. And nope, the campaign doesn't really do that in almost any fighting game I've ever played. Minus Soul Calibur, but Soul Calibur 2, was the exception. Soul Calibur 2's campaign was cool because it actually had RPG mechanics and like challenge modes. That was neato, kind of Rito, but still, even then, you know, games that I think had cool campaigns like Mortal Kombat X, it's still just like a lot of cutscenes and you're just going into the fights and they're kind of one and done over rather quickly. I think that really moving on into the future, I really want to see more fighting games, and it's not a critic. Hey, it is not a critic's job to offer solutions. Keep that in mind. So, end of the video, I think it's pretty hard set. Hey, I don't play fighting games because really, it seems like fighting games don't really want me to play them. You know, they want me to win them. They want me to be, you know, great and constantly, you know, just being the top percent. But I'm not. Most people aren't, obviously. And to get there, we kind of need to play the game. And instead, you know, anyways, the game just they make it hard to play themselves. So, anyways, that's my criticism, but my solutions possibly is going to be games like Smash, how you have like the ability to constantly rematch and replay. That's pretty cool. I really like that. That's good for learning. At least, you know, maybe if not in ranked, maybe you can have limited rematches, but at least in quick play, constant and consistent rematches in all fighting games. I really want much faster matchmaking, much better matchmaking. That is critical for a fighting game, a game all about fighting another player head to head or 2v2. Dudes, man, matchmaking needs to be netcode and matchmaking need to be a freaking priority, please and thank you. I cannot believe that you think it's not. And those load times, holy shit, just you need to whatever sacrifice needs to be made, kill those load times. They need to be instant. It is bullshit that people can load into open world games, people can load into MMOs before they load into a fighting game match. Bologna, okay? But I think a cool thing that you could do maybe is implement more systems like we see actually with auto chess. Auto chess is kind of a 1v1 game, but it's round robin. This way you have everyone playing constantly, and it's kind of evened out and fair because everyone round robins, they fight each other down. Well, it's kind of random in that game, but in the fighting game, we could maybe have tournament rules, tournament brackets. Everyone can load into lobbies and all play together, and then the best two fight into the end. And this might elongate the technical matches, but it's going to allow players to consistently find new matches or consistently fight. You know, if they keep winning, keep playing, boom, boom, pow. You know, maybe there's constant lobbies that you can just jump into. You know, there's a couple of different solutions, or just give us those options to give us those different matchmaking queues that we can jump into. And either way, I love it when matchmaking is instant. So whatever you have to do, whatever, you know, big 5-head, big brain move you have to make your game that way, please do. Just please do. I don't care what sort of artistic integrity you think you have for the, you know, hardcore fighting game, the purest fighting game feel, but fuck it, you know? It's all really inspired from something that's a little bit cancer. You know, the arcade culture was a little bit, I think we can all admit, a little bit predatory. So, you know, do you remember Mortal Kombat's final boss in arcades? Do you guys remember that? I remember that, and I was friends with a guy who managed the arcade, so I got free coins, and it still frustrated the hell out of me. So, you know, like it's kind of an issue. Okay, when we have fighting games and the majority of players are spending the majority of their time not actually fighting. So that's something that's been echoed across the board. There should be no fault in me saying that, and if there is, you guys are a bunch of assholes. But anyways, so if you really love fighting games and you love the genre, I think what we should do is kind of expand our horizons, look what other games are doing, even other genres like auto chess and battle royales. See their rampant, rabid success, and you know, also look at the success of popular games like Smash, probably, and you take that. And I know Tekken's not unpopular. Tekken's really popular. It's really good, but I think we can all be a little bit better and get more people into this community. Not that I'm saying like I'm part of the FGC, you know, I'm not obviously a part of that group of YouTubers. I'm not part of any group of YouTubers. I'm just a little loser myself. But as a loser who's trying to be a winner, trying to engross myself in these different communities, it's very, very clear to me as a critic to see the speed bumps that I have, and I'm trying to explain those to other players so that they can understand what they're getting into, so they can allot that amount of time or understand what effort and what pinpoint focus that they're going to need to get into these games, whether that's arena shooters, rhythm games, or fighting games. And in the future, we'll talk about MMOs and other things, so hopefully you guys get excited for that. So yeah, that's my thoughts and feelings. I want to know what you think in the comments below. Why do you or don't you play fighting games? And if you want to hear a specific topic or a rant for the Patreon, I'm also doing reviews, really harsh reviews starting now. You go to my Patreon, Skylent, and if you subscribe to any amount, join the Discord, and tell me like, hey Sky, I want you to rant about this. You got some cool thoughts and feelings. You say it like you mean it. I want to hear it. So yeah, that'd be pretty cool. And give me content to make a video on. But that's all I gotta say, friends and family. I do play a few fighting games, namely Smash, and Brawlhalla is actually doing pretty good. I might jump into that every once in a while. We might do a stream on that. But I've actually did a video, top 10 free-to-play fighting games. If you would, click the link in the description / comment or whatever, and watch that video. There's actually some really fun games. I promise you haven't seen all of them. You will find a new game. But yeah, guys, I'm always all about exploring games and sharing them and trying to get people into those genres. So don't take this video like I freaking hate it, and then I don't want anybody to play it ever, okay? You keyboard warriors who's not listening at all because you just disliked and left the video, whatever. Much love, keep the hype alive, and I'll see you again next time.